Hi guys. How is the first week going? I received a couple of New Year messages this year, but there were some that really stood out for me. They really they really stood out for me because of the context of the message. Again, story time. You know how we do it. Earlier on in life, I realized two things about myself. I realized two things generally. One, it doesn't take a village. It doesn't take a village. If something is orchestrated or it has been predestined to happen for you or to you, it will take one person, one thing, just one situation to make it happen. And another thing I realized that personally, I came to liken myself to the proverbial yam in the goat and yam story. Epic story. I don't know how many of you remember that story. The story that says the farmer gave a yam to a goat to keep and went off. And by the time he came back, the goat has eaten the yam. And the farmer asks the goat, Mr. Goat, where is my yam? And the goat says, you gave me yam to eat and I ate it. So right from when I was a teenager, all through my school years till I became an adult, that has been my experience. So I said that to say this. Some of the messages I received on New Year, there were like five of them that had very similar message, and the message was pointing to the fact that Maggie, I see what you're doing. I wish you all the best, and I apologize for not being there for you when you needed it. Or for there was a particular person I even approached and asked, to do something, and he refused to do it. But the thing is, I do not hold people to heart when it comes to things like that. I do understand that to an extent, I may be dealing with hyper independence because I've all through my life, I'm a middle child. You know what I mean? I've always had to do things on my own by myself and just depend on me to have things done. So when I try to go out of my way to ask somebody for something or say, let's do this thing and they're not forthcoming, I just let them be. I don't hold them to heart. I don't say, oh, God will not prosper you or whatever, or God will punish you for saying, no, 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 I'm not entitled to it. And some other experiences I've had over the years is when I've been in very dire situations and I've gone to people that I know had the capacity and the resources to, make that thing go away or do something that would actually, alter or change the trajectory of my life. And all they wanted to do was jack pints and throw some change at me. It's it all reaffirmed that knowing that I've always known that, goat yam hello. So there are some of us that we are destined to navigate this thing on our own. We are destined to have this thing done by ourselves, either by divine providence or by, you know the universe sending an entirely, different person, maybe sending a stranger. There are people that have actually, come through for me and helped me in my journey at one point or the other. And it all happened that those people are people that I just met along the line, total strangers. You know how they say, who could help you, no go stress you. So those messages actually made me want to talk to, some people out there. It's okay to ask for help. It's also okay for people to understand that people that do not know how to ask for help is not because they are proud or because they don't want to bring themselves to do that. Maybe they are like me that have come to realize that they are the goats in the goat and the yam story. So no matter how good you are, no matter how qualified you are, no matter how, the value of what you're bringing, the goats don't care. You are sweet is that you are sweet. You are yam and you will be eating. Fuck that value. Fuck the money we had to make. Excuse my French. They don't care. So on the other hand, there are people that had to depend on themselves all through their lives. I think I'm actually suffering from both. I'm actually dealing with both. It's not a suffer, it's a blessing to an extent. It saves you from a whole lot of unnecessary things. There are people that they are also dealing with hyper independence. They were made to cater to themselves from a young age, dealing with things that nobody could come to them for. So they only learn to depend on themselves all through their life. Now those kind of people, if you're somebody like that, you would pray that you meet people who see you, who see through you, and are willing to come through for you to help you without having to put you in a position where you have to constantly ask. And now, if you're somebody that you notice that somebody around you is like that, the most beautiful, the most impactful thing you can do for that person is being available to offer a helping hand to the person. You don't have to wait for them to ask, because most of the time they are not going to ask. So as we're going into the new year, I mean, a lot of things have been done. Just have this at the back of your mind. Are people not asking you for help because they've realized that you are a goat and you're a yam, and if they come to ask you, you will just act that? Or are you one of those that, you're just saying because you're not asking, you're not going to help? And the irony of this thing is that, as much as I am dealing with these two phenomena that I've not known how to navigate, the number of people that come to me for help are alarming. To say that I get to navigate this life, I get to do these things by myself. I have to start as little as I want. I have to scrap. There was a time. There was a time. I don't know, some of you that remember when I was blogging. I had my personal blog then, from between 2015, 2016, 2017 to 2018 thereabout. The reason, part of the reason, the major reason that blog, I stopped it and I just, sold the hosting to someone else, was because the person I was working with, my partner then, he said something for me. So he schooled abroad, came to Nigeria. I encouraged him to go for NYSC. You just can't be sitting in the house say you're doing crypto. I understand that. I invested in crypto too, but then crypto was still shaky. A lot of us lost money. You need to go to NYSC so that you can get something else doing while we're waiting on the crypto to blow. Quote and unquote. It's not today we start the hustle. So when he went to NYSC, he met somebody else, and suddenly he just lost interest in, the blog. The blog already had a lot of visitors. I don't know, some of you that have been following me for a long time, you remember it. Before all this started, all this blogging things, social media following, I don't discover the talent right from when I was a teenager. So and one day I was talking to him and I asked him, why exactly did you do that? He said to me, Maggie, it's because I knew that, I know, he didn't say past tense, he said present continuous. I know that if you get the things you require or you need, you would no longer need me. You won't depend on me. That was where that conversation ended. I didn't ask further. I didn't, because I got it. He's dealing with his own thing, but he's projecting on me. And over the years, I've realized that a couple of people that I also come across have that same perception. They feel that, if you have what you need, you will no longer need them. That's an insecurity they are dealing with. And the truth is, there's nothing you want to start telling them that will change it, how they see you, right? And whatever makes you think that if somebody becomes self-sufficient, they will no longer need you, is because you no longer have anything else to offer, right? What about the person you are? Are you even confident in the person you are? If you're confident in the person you are, in the value that you've actually brought to them, why would you be scared that they will no longer need you, right? And the irony of the whole situation is that I don't even think I'm like that. If there's one thing I've come to appreciate, having discovered myself and learning myself over the years, is people I would die for and hold close to are people that have stood for me and support me, because I know how it goes. Again, the goats and the yam. So whenever I come across a person who, even though he wants to eat the yam, of course, he or she still feels like, okay, you know what? I see what this person is doing. I'm going to pour into this. I'm going to help them. It's a ride or die. It's still there. It's that loyalty is there. So it's, as you navigate the year, it's okay. It's okay. Seek for help. And if you can't, do what you have with what you have in your hand. Start with what you have in your hand. And also understand that if you have to ask more than twice, they don't want to do it. You leave them alone. People are not daft. Humans are not daft. Man is the most intelligent creation that God made. So if people are waiting for you to put yourself in very pitiable situations just because you want something from them, one, they just want to ridicule you. Two, they are wasting your time. They're never going to do it. So this is where having a little bit of healthy pride comes in. And if you're very certain of what you have and what you can do with it, go do it by yourself. It's still a very long period. One of those New Year messages that I got that actually inspired me to do this was the person said, Maggie, I've been seeing episodes of your podcasts. I've always known you're brilliant, you're creative. I particularly love the authenticity of it, the way you're opening up yourself. And I know it's going to go places. And I am sorry I wasn't able to support you when, you first talked about it with me. And this is somebody I've known for like 7, 8 years. I'd even forgotten that I'd said this thing to him years back. The message reminded me. I just might said, it's okay, it's fine. It's fine. That tells me that there are people that they're going to be watching you to watch and see what you're going to do with what you have, no matter how little. They will not encourage or support you in any way. These people I'm talking about that sent me all these messages, none of them engages this podcast so that they were even talking about. None of them even yeah, that's the irony. What some of them do is they will come to WhatsApp or to the DMs to want to talk about it. And I've talked about it and I'm tired and I'm no longer talking about it. But that is it. They are watching you, they are seeing you, they're waiting to see what you will do with the little you have or what you don't have. But the greatest investment you can ever make is investment in yourself, believing in yourself that you can do anything, whatever. So it's still a very long time. Like I said, don't limit yourself to the confines of time. Go out there and do what you got to do. Break a leg. And remember, I'm rooting for you. If you can ask for help, fantastic. If you can't, ask the Heavenly Father. He's the helper and creator of all things. Yes, he said he will use man to help, but sometimes, if man is not available, he'll use the trees or raise stones. But don't put that kind of faith. Only Magdalene and Abraham can. I kid. He would always send man to help. And if the people you're feeling that he's supposed to send to do that are not the ones, take your mind off it. Never be entitled to anybody's help. Never. Never. Depend on God alone. Like I said, me, there is the proverbial yam in the yam and goat story. The queue of people that are expecting help from me. And I'll tell them, see, I promise you, whenever it's I get it like this, God provides me this capacity and the facility like this, it's over. Helper, oh boy. I know I'm a helper, not a helpy. So shift the mindset, shift your mind. From there, you realize that the magic begins to happen. Once again, this is I Have Questions with Maggie, and thank you for watching. Bye.